he is ready for questions. Coach, front row.
Well, first off, I'd like to tell everybody how excited we are to be here. This is always kind of the start of another challenging football season, and I hope you all had a great summer and enjoyed your time, and I'm sure you're looking forward to the season as much as we are.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. Taylor Kaufman with CBS 42 in Birmingham. Alabama has some question marks around it going into this year, but we saw that a couple years ago, and you guys ended up with a Heisman quarterback, SEC championship, and a trip to the national championship. Do you kind of like when the media and fans have some question marks about you guys, opposed to headlines that maybe read you guys are a shoo-in for the championship?
Right. Well, we're never a shoo-in for the championship. We always have question marks about our team. Sometimes you all don't recognize them as clearly as what they might be, just like last year's team. Yeah, we had a great quarterback coming back. We had a great player in Will Anderson on defense. We had a lot of question marks on our team, but that gets overlooked because you have these two star players at critical positions. And, you know, this year, maybe we don't have those kind of impactful players at those critical positions, so it's very challenging to develop the team so that they can compete at a high level. We have some experience coming back on both sides of the ball, and we also have a lot of new young players who can contribute in a very positive way to our team. So, but every year is challenging. Every year is, and no matter what's happened in some other year, at some other time, in some other circumstance, it's not going to impact this year. The people on this team, the coaches on our staff, are going to do what they can to try to impact this year in a positive way in terms of what we want to accomplish and what we want to do.
Front row.
Good morning, Coach. AP Stedham, AP and Kelly, as we see at Syndicated Radio. Out of curiosity, do you recommend any place that you visited this summer? And then the second question is, I know you sought counsel in the past on different phases of the game. What's been your experience studying the two-quarterback system?
Well, first of all, the first question is a better question. So, you know, everybody knows we went to Italy. It was for our 50th wedding anniversary, which was really in the past, but I kept getting out of going because I didn't really want to go and take 10 days to not be around. But it was a great trip, and I would recommend that anybody go. And Florence is fantastic, Rome is fantastic, the Amalfi Coast is fantastic, and we got roll-tided everywhere we went. So if you think you're going to be incognito over there, that's not happening. So, and the second part is, you know, we need for all of our quarterbacks to develop on our team. I don't think anybody has separated themselves to this point, even though I see improvement in each and every guy in terms of how well they're doing and how they're developing. But we need that on our team. We don't just need a starter, we need a backup. We need, you know, good players at that position. Just like Jalen Milroe had the opportunity to play last year, we needed him to be ready in the Arkansas game and the A&M game. So when somebody separates themselves and nobody knows for sure when that is, and I can't establish a timetable to say on this date we're going to say this is the starting quarterback. It's going to happen when it happens, and that's the way it'll be.
Right side, fourth row.
Good morning, Coach. Tony Reese, WTV. I'm out of Columbus, Georgia. The long-term saying, Bama doesn't really lose, they reload. So with the addition of key players going into the draft, I know you guys kind of reload every year. Kind of what's been that going forward this year?
Well, I think that that's the way it's going to be. When you have a lot of good players and you do a good job of developing those players as they have at Georgia, we have done that some in the past, you lose 4 or 5 guys that are underclassmen, in some cases more, some cases maybe less. Instead of having 17 starters back, you got 12. So it impacts your team and makes your team younger. So the challenge is how can we develop the young players on our team quickly enough that they're ready to go out and create value for themselves and play winning football? That's the challenge. So, and that's what we've had to do in many years. Some years we've done it better than others. And that's going to be the challenge for us this year.
Left side, second row.
Ryan Hennessy, WVTM, NBC 13 in Birmingham. Coach, you're over here. Your offensive coordinator's 30 years old. The age gap between you and him, what have you What has it been like so far when you hired him, a 30-year-old offense coordinator? Do you have a lot of things in common, maybe some differences, or what is that like? Because a lot of fans.
It's great. First of all, I still feel like I'm 39. And Tommy's great. He's mature. He does a great job presenting to the players. He has good relationships with the players. He's very bright. He understands the game. He's a very good quarterback coach in terms of helping guys improve at that position, which I think is critical. We don't have any issues. He's very respectful of what we want to do and how we want to do it. And the guy's hungry, wants to learn. I think he's one of the brightest young coaches that I've been around for a long time.
Right side, second row.
Hey, Coach. So most players have a go-to song or artist that kind of get them locked into the game. I'm curious, what is on a Nick Saban pregame hype playlist for you?
I don't understand this question. Say that again.
What's like your go-to music choice? What are you listening to? What are you and Terry listening to?
Next question.
Well, you know, I don't really listen to music before the game. You know, we always play Gimme Shelter going home, you know, after the game. But I don't listen to music before the game. I'm kind of thinking about, you know, have we covered everything we need to cover? Players ready to go? And trying to anticipate what might be a problem in the game at some point. So, I mean, if you walk around a locker room, you can get entertained quite a bit because most people are listening to music, which I think is a way the players are trying to relax, you know, a little bit and curb their anxiety. And I think that's a good thing, but I just never did that, so I can't answer that.
Stay on the second row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Coach, what can you tell us about the decision to bring back Coach Steele?
Coach Steele's a very experienced coach. He's been a very successful offensive coordinator in our league for a number of years. He's been with us in the past on several occasions, so he kind of understands, you know, our system of how we do things and what we do. But so it was a combination of his knowledge and experience as well as his familiarity with, you know, how we do things that made it I think a good choice for us.
Left side, third row.
Nick, right over here. John Sokoloff with WCBI, kind of a small part of a two-parter though, but can you kind of comment on Pete Golding's departure to Ole Miss and kind of going off that? Ole Miss and Mississippi State next year, not on the schedule. I believe that'll be the first time you're not playing either of those schools. Has that kind of crossed your mind, and what are your thoughts on not playing either of those teams?
We play them this year though, right? So you think I'm thinking about who we play the next year? I haven't even looked at the schedule yet. So I haven't given that any thought at all. Look, everybody needs to make their personal choices and decisions about, you know, where they think they best can develop their career. Pete did a great job for us. I like Pete. You know, he improved every year with us in terms of how he did his job, which I was always pleased with. And he chose for personal reasons or whatever reasons that was a better opportunity for him to go someplace else, and that's his prerogative. So, and we wish him well.
On the aisle, fourth row.
Coach Saban, Corey LeBounty, we got a chance to see a different side of you this summer with the virtual reality game. I know you like to dominate your opponent on the field. Did you dominate the virtual reality opponent, and what game were you playing in that virtual reality?
You know, I don't know. You have to explain it to me because I didn't see it. So what?
When you were punching with the glasses on, the virtual reality game, to where when you're taking on your opponent and you see them in the video game and you're kind of punching a little bit, it's almost like a little dance your daughter was recording.
Yeah, well, I thought I was horrible. I couldn't land a punch, but you could get punched. So that's the only time I've ever done that. And it was a good experience. I can't really give myself a very good grade of how well I performed doing it.
Final question, second row.
Coach Rosie Langelo from WSFA Montgomery. Of the 3 players that you brought today to SEC Media Days, why did you end up bringing those 3 guys?
They're all good players. They're all good guys. They've all been good leaders. They've represented the program well. They're very experienced players. They've had a lot of success at their position. And I think they all have played a significant amount of football, probably as much as anybody on our team has played. So, and I think they'll both do a great job of representing the university and their teammates, you know, here at this. So, no really formula for who you bring, but hopefully those guys are someone that you'll be interested in, and they've certainly been great ambassadors for the University of Alabama. They've played really well. They're both, all 3 on track to graduate, so they've done everything we've asked them to do in a positive way.
Coach, thank you very much.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate what you do.